Hey, what is up, everybody? It is I, the host. I can't do nothing about that still. Anyway, in the last video, I just mentioned a few of my ships. Now I'm going to document the problems with weapons that are my concern. So, you can't really see the mouse, I don't think. That sucks, really. So, I'll just go a brief run through all these weapons. You can check out Mushroom Fleet's um, videos about this because he did this and actually did a live fire test with all of them. So you can see how they all work. And with that many seconds to go, let's get started. So we have cannon to cannon. Actually, no, let's go back what they normally would be. So we got cannon, missile, beam, pulsar, and mine layer. Mine layers are not in the game yet, but when they are, I'm just gonna review them anyway. Okay, so a normal cannon will fire one single projectile. Missiles, they fire explosive. Well, basically, you know what missiles are. Beams, they are the single destroy. Like, they do pretty much damage, but not fast damage, as you would expect from a beam. Pulsar is just a big sphere that is fired, which knocks off anything that is small. And mine layer is just proximity explosives, like you normally would expect them to be. Now we have slave systems. Now slave systems are the slave systems are supposed to modify the master system. I think that was too loud for you guys. I don't know. But anyway, the cannon with a cannon. This will create a rapid fire cannon. Now the only way if you actually get rapid fire is to actually have both cannons be equal to one another. So say you have one array, like a 1 by 1 by 10 array of the master cannon. So you need to have the same um, 1 by 1 by 10 cannon array as the slave system if you want that rapid fire ability. So you really need to know how many blocks you actually use for the master cannon in order for you to use the slave system. With any of these, they all must be the same for what your master system is. So it's basically equality. Equality is what you need in all this, basically. So cannon to cannon get you rapid fire. Cannon to missile, you get a shotgun effect, which will multiply from one shot. It's somewhat powerful. I never really tried it out, but it looks really cool, as I saw from other videos. I would possibly use this for close range, or probably use this for logic reasons. But I'll explain that in the next video. Hopefully not. Cannon to beam, you get a sniper. We all know what that is. A really high, powerful, damageable range thing. Projectile, basically. Next, we have a cannon to pulsar. This will create a artillery cannon. We all know what artillery cannons are. They're really powerful, explosive cannons that do a whole bunch of damage to structures, vehicles, and anything else that is in its range. I would recommend it, but I wouldn't because it uses a lot of power, especially for pulsar. Pulsar uses the most power out of any of the other systems, any other weapon systems you can have. So I wouldn't really recommend it, but you can use it for possibly Titans, Dreadnoughts, Capitals, and other big ships. Next we have cannon to mine layer. Since they're not here, I'm just going to do it anyway. So flags. We all know what flags are. They're like um, the destroyers of anything that's air. So so basically, if you have drones, you can use the cannon mine layer idea, and you can take out the enemy's not flag. You can take out the enemy's fighters and drones faster than you would with normal drones. So that would be an idea to use. So next we have missile to cannon. So basically you just get rapid firing straight out shooting missiles. They don't guide, they don't heat sig or anything. They just fire out. So next we have missile to missile. This will cause a heat-seeking multi-missile fired shot. So basically, you get multiple missiles being fired, and they all heat sig onto whatever ship whatever they lock on to. So it doesn't really have to be one ship. It could be your own ship's turrets. So I wouldn't really use it because the missiles might get confused on what they might be aiming at. But I use it anyway because it looks cool. Next we have missile to beam, which is basically a long tracking missile. So in order to really use it, by word tracking, I think it could be heat-seeking or lock-on. I'm not really sure. I never tried it, but you guys can, and it could be either lock-on or heat-sig. It gotta be those two, because those are the only real ways you can actually track things. If you either lock it or heat-sig it. But this thing should have a long duration of not exploding in mid-flight, and also it has an incredible speed than any other system except for cannon, rapid fire cannon. But the distance is longer though, basically. So missile to pulsar. You guys must be crazy. There's no way. You gotta have a really big ship with a whole bunch of power in order to use a missile to pulsar. Okay? Well, actually, it really depends on how many how many missile arrays you actually have. So, just keep that in mind. So, it creates a heavy Hulk missile, which is basically a really heavy duty, you're screwed over missile. Basically. You're never going to survive it, basically. I have this on one of my ships, as you may saw from last episodes. It's the one I was flying in. I have the missile to pulsar thing. It's really slow in reload, but it's really strong in damage. Next we have 7 minutes. Great. Missile to mine layer, which are sleeper missiles. I don't even know what the hell sleeper missiles are, but I can guess that maybe if you fire them, they don't really be active. But if there's an enemy close by, they will probably heat sig towards them, basically. Yeah. I'll probably end it near beam pulsar. So the beam cannon will create this rapid firing laser at the enemy. So basically, it's gonna do faster damage basically in one beam. So that's something to really consider. Beam to missile. This creates a whole bunch of like lasers sticking out from one little point. So basically, consider it as a whole bunch of spikes coming out from one point, basically. So it's like a shotgun effect. Next we have beam to beam. What the heck? You just now created a freaking long laser. It takes a long time to reload, and it takes no, actually no, not long. It's going to take a lot of power to use, and it's going to take a lot of damage to the enemy. So, the beam to beam actually has its own benefits, but it kind of sucks. Beam, oh man, we have a minute. Beam to pulsar. Basically, you made a siege weapon. You can tear the crap out of any planet you see. Basically, it's not gonna be a huge beam, but if you put multiple beams, it's gonna do that. Okay, just it's gonna cause a lot of lag, a lot of power is gonna be needed, and you're gonna need a really big ship. So, next video will be a recap of this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't think you will, but might as well try. Why don't you? So, see you guys later.